Well, good evening, my friends, and welcome back. Cumberland Outdoorsman out here at my shooting range doing a little bit of testing with some of this CCI Uppercut ammunition. If you haven't seen this, this is kind of still a new product by CCI, and it's intended for self-defense out of a handgun, okay? And in particular, it's really optimized for semi-automatic pistols. And if you watch my channel, you know that just a few weeks ago I tested this out of a variety of handguns and I got pretty decent results. In my opinion, out of a handgun, they probably should have stepped up the powder charge a little bit more. But today, I was really curious and I wanted to come out here and do some more testing because this is going to be another video for my 22 rimfire series. I wanted to see how this ammunition would perform out of a rifle with a full-length rifle barrel, okay? So I set up the chronograph. We're going to check a few shots and see what kind of velocities we're getting. Hopefully we have enough light left. It's because the sun's starting to go down. But anyway, I'll take one of these out of the box and show it to you. There's the box and there's the ammunition. It's a hollow point and it's a real jacketed bullet. And it says here, like I said, it's optimized for 2.5 to 4 inch barrels out of a semi-automatic pistol. But we're going to try it out of a 24 inch barrel because that's what I like to do. I just like to experiment with different 22 loads in particular. So let's take a few shots and get down to the nitty-gritty and see how well this ammunition performs. Okay, we got a target set up down there at 35 yards. And we'll see what kind of velocities we get and if this ammunition is consistent. So here we go. Okay, we did not get a reading on that one. $1,461. $1,464. $1,481. $1,461, and that's the last shot. So velocities above 1,450 feet per second out of a rifle with a 24 inch barrel is about the norm for the CCI Uppercut. Well guys, I went ahead and stepped back here to about 60 yards or so, a little bit further than what I was testing the ammunition with using the chronograph. But now we're going to shoot into some expansion medium. And no, I'm not going to use gel because there's lots of other videos, like I mentioned in the first video. You know, if you want to see this ammunition performing in ballistic gel, then there's lots of other channels out there that are featuring that. I'm shooting into wet newspaper, and to me, and in my experience, it's the best representation for tissue. Okay, so let's take a few shots and see if we get any expansion at all at this distance. It's quite a ways out, and I know the velocity is going to drop some by the time it gets there. But you know, if it still performs at 60 yards, then I would say it's probably going to make some pretty good hunting ammunition. So let's take a few shots real quick. We're loaded up and ready to go. Well, that should do it, folks. Let's go check it out and see what kind of results we get. All right, I see 3 bullet holes. Looks like we're on target. That's pretty good ammunition, I think. But the true test will be how well it expands. So let's check it out. There you can see 1, 2, 3 impacts. This is fresh too. There's not been any shots at all taken at this expansion medium. So we should get a pretty accurate measurement in terms of penetration and expansion. Okay, I think we have the first bullet right here. Wow, look at that, folks. That fully expanded. That's the first bullet. And there's the second one. Yeah, this ammunition I think would serve well in small game. Let's see, there's another bullet right there. Yeah, that's full expansion there. Wow. Some pretty hot stuff. Even though that's a real metal jacket, it's still expanded all the way back to the base. Not too bad. And that's what, 6, maybe 7 inches of penetration there? Pretty good. Well, my friends, here's the target that I shot at 35 yards. And as you can see, I was off to the left a little bit. And I was holding down here for the first 2 shots. And then I held right at the bullseye and I got 5 shots right there, clustered well within, well, it's under a ½ an inch. So, you know, that's pretty good accuracy. And that was my main concern. If I were going to use any type of ammunition for small game hunting, and then I wanted to see how well this ammunition would perform in expansion medium. And as you could see, I'll show you some of these mushrooms here where the ammunition completely peeled all the petals back. Some of the petals are actually missing, but you can see it definitely has positive expansion. Here's another one here. It has this copper jacket on it, just like a .22 Magnum round would, but it mushrooms, you know, it completely peels back. And I would say with an escape velocity of 1,460 or so feet per second out of a rifle barrel down there at 60 yards, it's still got to be clocking at least 1,250 to 1,300 feet per second, given the type of expansion that I'm getting here. Because when I clock these out of a handgun, if it didn't break that 1,000 foot per second threshold, then they didn't really expand very reliably. But once I got above 1,000 feet per second, like 1,100 or so, then I could see the bullets start opening up. Here's a couple of examples of some off-camera testing that I did, and there you can see that one's perfectly mushroomed. All the pedals are still intact, and these are out of the same rifle, same ammunition. So, you know, for small game hunting, I would say they'd probably be a little bit much for squirrel-sized game, but, you know, if you stretch the distance out there a little bit further, they should be all right. The round, to me, looks a lot like the Stinger. It doesn't have the same muzzle velocity as a Stinger. Stingers out of my 24-inch barrel usually clock around 1,600 feet per second, and that's with the same weight bullet. That's a 32 grain bullet, and so is the Stinger. But, you know, I mean, they have their place, especially for varmint hunting. You know, if you go after groundhogs or possums or anything, foxes, that should prove to be some pretty good ammunition. It's a little bit light for coyotes, but I'd say if you keep it under 70 yards, 60 maybe, you should be okay with a well-placed hit on a coyote. For a .22 Magnum, for example, I would keep it within the 100-yard range. And given that this ammunition performs a little bit hotter than the standard .22 long rifle high velocity load would, and given that it does have a true copper jacket, I haven't used it on varmints yet. I just got the ammunition, but I would say from my tests here that it would do an admirable job. So there you have it. If you can find some of this ammunition and you're a .22 enthusiast, I would say give it a try. And you know, if you like to carry a .22 handgun for self-defense, then CCI Uppercut would be a good choice. I would keep the barrel length above 3.5 to 4 inches out of a semi-automatic, and you should get pretty decent results. But from my observations, I would say that the CCI Uppercut impressed me more out of the rifle than they did when I used them out of a handgun right here at my range, looking at the test results, and the accuracy was pretty pleasing to me. So with that being said, let me wish you well and remind you, if you like to go hunting, fishing, camping, shooting, hiking, no matter what your outdoor pursuit happens to be, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. But also remember this, hit that like button, smash that old bell icon, and subscribe. That way you'll know when more videos like this one will be coming your way. So until next time, y'all take good care of yourselves, get out there and enjoy the great outdoors. I'll be seeing you.